Good afternoon. It is the beginning of the weekend. This is Midday Live. My name is Wendy Laya. Headlines for this afternoon. Members of the Government Hospital Pharmacists Association threatens to embark on a nationwide strike on February 22 if a decision on the payment of their appropriate market premium is not made on their income. And on the foreign front, an Ivorian court orders jail deputy leader of the party of ex-president Laurent Gbagbo be freed on February 28 but restricted to his home region for 1 year. These are the headlines for this afternoon, and the details are coming up shortly. Please stay with me. We start with our stories, and as part of efforts by government to curb fuel smuggling across the borders of Ghana, National Security has embarked on an exercise to clamp down on culprits. The police in the Volta region have also been clamping down on fuel smugglers, and we do have on the phone line our Volta regional correspondent Robert Abilba. Hello, Robert.
Yeah, hello.
And now, where exactly have the officers, or which spots have the officers been to, and have they made any arrests so far?
Yes, following the agitation with regards to whether they should take subsidy off or what, it is the reason for which the national security of the Volta Regional had embarked on a serious routine checks along the border posts in the region. And as a result, they had arrested so far about 13 cases when they started this exercise. They started on the 9th of February, and as I speak to you now, about 70 and over drums of diesel and then petroleum products have been seized, and then 10 people currently are in the police grips with regards to this exercise that they have embarked on.
Okay, but what happens to the persons that have been arrested? Will they be processed before court?
Yeah, come again.
What happens to those that have been arrested, as in the culprits?
Yeah, they are going to screen them, interrogate, and then the necessary law action be taken against them. And then the police officer who in a chat told us that it is not just going to be a 9-day wonder. You imagine, since 9th and today, they have been able to arrest and unravel over 70 gallons of these fuel products. What of at the time they had not embarked on it, it means thousands and thousands of several gallons and then drums of fuel had gone wayward, smuggled to neighboring countries, and this they will continue to ensure that the wrongs are brought to bear on. Brought to book.
And how long is this exercise going to run?
They say it's not going to be a 9-day wonder. It's not going to stop.
But when are they hoping to end it? What's the time frame like?
With themselves.
Robert.
Yep.
Yes, you have registered that they're saying it's not going to be a 9-day wonder. But how long are they going to take for this exercise to run?
You said, I'm not hearing you well.
I'm asking that what's the time frame for this exercise? How long are they taking?
Yeah, according to them, it's like on a pilot bay that they started, and they are now even going to meet the owners of these fuel stations and give them their guidelines as to how. So I think it will last for the next 2 to 3 months. But they haven't specifically given us the time frame of action that they're taking on.
Okay. Well, thank you very much indeed, Robert Abilba. He's our Volta regional correspondent, and he was updating us on efforts that are being taken by government to curb fuel smuggling across the country and now borders of the country as the national security embarks on an exercise to clamp down on corporates. You're still watching Midday Live. The National Labour Commission settled 152 out of 666 cases it received last year. In 2011, the Commission settled 371 out of 628 cases. The Public Relations Officer of the Commission, Charlotte Hansen, spoke to our Labour correspondent, Daniel Opoku.
In 2005, 525 cases were received, out of which 51 were settled. 663 cases were recorded in 2006, a decrease over that of 2005, out of which 191 were resolved. In 2007, 686 cases were received, out of which 220 were settled. 618 cases also appeared before the Commission in 2008, out of which 441 were settled. 740 cases were received in 2009, out of which 406 were resolved. In 2010, 904 cases were recorded, out of which 413 were settled. In 2011, the Commission received 628 cases, out of which 371 were resolved.
Since 2005 July up to 2012 December, some of the cases that we recorded includes summary dismissals, redundancies, retirements or end of service benefits, unfair termination, unpaid salaries.
The Commission also recorded 10 cases on strikes as of the close of 2012.
When parties take entrenched positions and they come to the Commission, sometimes we try our best, but because they take entrenched position, if the problems delay, it goes on and on and on, and I don't think that it is the best.
Now, the Court of Appeal has by unanimous decision ordered that accounts belonging to businessman Alfred Admishiwoyome be released to him, except the accounts held at the Agricultural Development Bank. All other accounts belonging to Woyome must be returned, the court ruled. His accounts were frozen by the Economic and Organized Crimes Office following allegations he defrauded the state by false pretense in a controversial 51 million cedi judgment debt scandal that rocked the country early 2011. He was hauled to court by a hearing and has suffered numerous adjournments after prosecution failed to produce witnesses. The appeals court nullified the decision by the fraud office on Thursday. We look at some more stories this afternoon. Members of the government and hospital pharmacists have threatened to embark on a nationwide strike on February 22 if a decision on the payment of the appropriate market premium is not made on their income. And the Director of Grievances and Negotiations at the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, Colinius Yorson, joins me on the phone line. Good afternoon. Thanks for your time, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Now, the association, which is the Government and Hospital Pharmacists Association, have come up again with their concerns relating it to market premiums. And for them, they're saying that putting them on the single spine pay policy has been worse for them. What do you make of this? And how soon are you working on addressing their concerns?
You see, with the implementation of the single spine salary policy, you need to have done job evaluation before you can put somebody on a grade. Now, when we did the job evaluation, the result is saying that pharmacists should be on this grade. Various levels of pharmacists should be on this grade. And this is just what we did for them. We've gone back and forth on it. And there was the Grievance Review Committee ruling on the matter, which said that the grading of the pharmacists was fair. So we left it like that, but they went back to the Labour Commission. The Labour Commission is claiming that they had this recommendation or whatever they call it from the Minister of Health, that they as the employer, they are recommending a certain grading. So they were asking us to go by that grading. And we said that, you know something, the thing is fine. You don't put anybody on a grade without having done job evaluation. So we believe that the best way out of this will be job evaluation, because otherwise all other groups will come on your neck and claim that their organizations are saying that you should put them here and here. If you do that, that will be the end of the single spine. But the idea of the single spine is that all jobs of equal value should be on a certain grade. So you don't do it arbitrarily, like you don't put it yourself without having done a scientific analysis of it.
So, but
on the grading structure, that is what we have to say about it.
on the issue of the appropriate market premium, somebody will have to tell us what the meaning of the word appropriate is. Because as we are speaking, we are not even implementing market premium. You are not implementing market premium. For those whose salaries were higher than the single span basis salary, we are giving them what we call the conversion difference. For the health sector, which salary was far higher than the single span, we decided at the Public Services Joint Fund Negotiating Committee that they will be giving an interim arrangement, what we call the interim market premium, pending the guidelines for the market premium, which are not in yet. The guidelines are currently with the cabinet. After that, it will receive, there will be a white paper placed on it and published on it. So we are not implementing market premium at all. What we are doing is interim premium in lieu of conversion difference.
Now, Mr. Yawson, looking at what you're just saying, when was the last time you met with the Pharmacists Association, and are you still in talks with him?
No, we are not talking with that because, you see, they went to the Labour Commission. The Labour Commission gave a ruling. Before then, we had gone to Sogakope, where we had issued a joint report or a communique, where we had said in that report that we are not going to touch the market issue of market premium because that matter is before cabinet. And so the Labour Commission affirmed this aspect of it. And so we are not making them a market premium at all. So we are surprised that they are coming out asking for appropriate market premium. That's why I'm saying that somebody will have to tell us or define what the use of the word.
But if you say somebody is, who specifically are you referring to, Mr. Yawson?
Say it again.
If you were telling me that somebody has to explain to you what they're really talking about, who specifically are you referring to?
No, when they use the word appropriate market premium, I'm saying that somebody will have to define the use of the word appropriate. Because as far as we are concerned, we agreed a market premium for the whole health sector, various categories of professionals from the health sector. Those professional persons have that market premium being implemented currently.
And has this information that you have said, yes, you have mentioned that you've sent it to the Labour Commission, or the Labour Commission is aware of these issues, but when specifically was the last time you did meet the association?
Can you repeat your question? Why?
I'm saying that when was the last time you did have talks with the association?
Oh, I can't say offhand. About a month or so back when the National Labour Commission brought out a ruling which upheld the Sogakope declaration or communique that because we are not implementing market premium, and indeed the guidelines are not out, the issue of market premium cannot be touched at all.
And
because we are not implementing it. So why are you talking about it today?
And was this Sogakope declaration made clear to them?
The interim arrangement that was agreed together, which they are being paid as I speak.
And
so we are talking about two different things. You have a current interim thing that you are enjoying. Then now you come out and say that you want an appropriate market premium. That's why I'm saying that somebody has to define it.
And I'm also asking you that, was this declaration made clear to them?
Yes. Very explicit at the Labour Commission that. But we agreed together as Sogakope, the pharmacists themselves.
Okay.
Honorable Rojo Metilinu was the one who facilitated the meeting. Then we brought out this communique. We said that the market premium will not be charged because it is still the cabinet for approval. So we are not talking, in fact, we are not dealing with market premium for any group at all. So it's surprising when people talk about market premium. What we are doing now is an interim measure to take care of the conversion difference for particular sectors which have a very high salary above the general public service salary, and so for them the conversion difference will not have worked, so we gave them the interim arrangement which we call the interim market premium.
All right, well, thank you very much indeed for your time. I just spoke to Director of Grievances and Negotiations of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, Cornelius Yawson. He was talking about the concerns raised by the Government and Hospital Pharmacists Association of Ghana. In some other news, the Japanese government has provided a grant of over 226,000 Ghana cedis for the construction of a chips compound at Chita in the South Dai district of the Volta region. The project is intended to improve access to healthcare. But before we do take that story, I do have the national chairman of GOSPA on the phone line, and still in relation with the members of the Hospital Pharmacists Association threatening to embark on a nationwide strike action on February 22.
I can't hear you.
Hello, and thanks for your time, Mr. Kokwe.
Hello.
Can you hear me, Mr. Kokwe?
It's not coming very well.
Is it better now?
Hello.
Mr. Kokwe, can you move or reposition yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it better now?
Yes, better.
Okay, now you have stated that you will embark on a strike on February 22. Have you registered your concerns to all the appropriate courts? And when was the last time you did raise this very issue on your market premiums?
Basically, what we are saying is that this market premium issue we've been battling it with the legislature before the migration to the single fund for the past 2 years. And as essential service providers, we know from the law that our issues have to be dealt with maximum 2 weeks. And so our members, after the migration onto the spine in January, have seen a very low remuneration compared to their previous salary that they were receiving on the HSSS2. Apart from that, we've also realized that the SNP deductions have also really reduced dramatically. That, of course, is going to affect our members' future pension. And the 3 years salary arrears that we received, including January, was even lower than our basic salary that we received on a monthly basis on the previous salary. And that was a disaster to our members. And they cannot contain it any longer. So they decided that they are giving the government ultimatum up to 22nd of February. And if these issues are not dealt with expeditiously, they will withdraw their services.
Now, Mr. Kokwe, I just spoke to Cornelius Lawson, who's the Director of Grievances and Negotiations of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, and he did touch on the Sugar-Koppe Declaration, and he told me that you're aware that the issue of market premiums is not being dealt with as at now because it is still with Cabinet. Are you aware of this?
Come again.
I said I just spoke to Cornelius Lawson. He's the Director of Grievances and Negotiations at the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, and he did touch on the Sugar-Koppe Declaration, which you were a part of, and he did state that the issue of implementing market premiums is not being touched on at all because the issue is before Cabinet. Are you aware of this?
No, if the issue is with Cabinet, then how come the issues have been dealt with other professional duties? I think it's not very unfair to the pharmacists who have come all along within the past 2 years, been very patient and been following the procedures, discussions, and meetings here and there. I think it's very unfair.
And which other sectors are you talking about that are being looked at?
Oh, we know POTAC has been dealt with. We know the university administrators have been dealt with, and quite recently our colleague doctors. Market premium issue have been dealt with.
No.
All in the interest of the fact that the issue is at Cabinet. So if it is at Cabinet, why are they doing selective justice?
And you knowing or you being aware of the labor law and you deciding to proceed on leave, have you been able to channel your challenges to the appropriate quarters?
We have done that, and we always keep on doing that. We have channeled it. We have met Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. They said that the market premium is not on their jurisdiction. We have written a petition to the National Labour Commission. I have had information that they will be calling us for a meeting on Wednesday. So let's hope that that meeting will bring any fruitful results.
So why then are you giving a timeline then?
Well, we have given our timeline to the 22nd of February. So within that timeline, we hope that all the state institutions or those who are supposed to handle this issue appropriately will be dealt with.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. I just spoke to Stephen Kokwe, and he's the national chairman of the Government and Hospital Pharmacists Association of Ghana, and we're looking at what he had to say with regards to the nationwide strike action they hope to embark on February 22. More on health, and we go back to our earlier story. The Japanese government has provided a grant of over 226,000 Ghana cedis for the construction of a chips compound at Bui Chita in the South Dai district of the Volta region. The project is intended to improve access to healthcare.
The grant is under Japan's Grant Assistance for Grassroots Human Security Project scheme. The CHIPS compound will consist of a maternity unit, staff quarters, toilet facilities, medical equipment will also be provided. The Executive Director of Support Services Foundation, Moses Odru, was excited about the project.
In this project, we shall be serving a population of 2,995, representing an increase of 7% coverage of the last coverage. Good drinking water, as we all know, is very essential in the life of every individual, let alone the targeted 9 communities. Women and children will stop walking long distances in search for water at the expense of their economic activities and good education.
Meanwhile, the Japanese government has again earmarked over 321,000 cedis to provide potable water for some communities in the Volta region. The beneficiary communities are Amadome, Agbletokoe, Gamenu, Atuprapo, Adidokpo, Keji, Aveta, and Hawi. The grant would also be used to construct pipeline systems to the 9 communities to help reduce waterborne and communicable diseases.
We hope to have a good working relationship and collaboration with Japan.
Vodafone Ghana has paid the medical bills of 18 children whose parents could not afford but had been discharged from the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, especially their bills, and the initiative was staffed the Valentine Day homecoming.
Vodafone Ghana is a total communication solutions providing fixed and internet services. This year, Vodafone focused on settling the medical bills for children whose parents could not afford to meet their bills. Over 300 patients and their families were touched by this initiative. Communications manager Abina Itua said they were touched by the plight of several parents who had to leave their children in the hospital while they worked to secure funds.
This year we're concentrating particularly on children because it's sad that a child is in hospital and has been treated and is still here, and more often than not a parent has to be here with them rather than going out to find the money to pay the bill. So it's double anguish for the child and the parent. So we felt that this year let's concentrate on the children and let them be reunited with their parents and their family on Valentine's Day.
This woman expressed her joy.
I thank Vodafone for settling the bills I was owing.
Friday market activities closing today. My name is Kwekuteme. Many thanks for joining us on the business segment of Midday Live. Well, just before we delve into your investments and find out how the city has performed, the stock market is performing throughout the week, let's just quickly touch on some local details. And here, business in the oil and gas industry has been advised to take opportunities of the upcoming offshore West African conference to shape the agenda for growth in the sector. Now, the 17th annual conference, which will be held in Ghana, is aimed at providing a platform for technology exchange and news business developments.
The conference would bring together over 60 companies within the oil and gas industry across the West African sub-region. Participants will share ideas with experts in their respective fields and provide services towards the attainment of the industry's goal. The conference, slated for March 19 to 21, 2013, would be hosted by the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation.
During events like these, we share, learn, compare notes, conceive ideas, develop stories, strike business deals, etc. all these leaders to shape the agenda for growth of the different facets of the overall industry.
The conference is expected to facilitate job creation opportunities in the oil and gas industry.
Currently, the biggest challenge we have with a lot of industries in Ghana is a lack of information as to how the industry is actually developing, is a lack of information as to the actual opportunities that are available, the services that the industry requires, the skills that our graduates need to enable them to actually work in the industry. So what this conference is doing over the last 3 times that it's been in Ghana is to promote that. So when people come to the conference, of course you have various speakers. You have people coming from the local content perspective, you have international speakers coming from the technical perspective, just to give you information as to how our upstream sector operates.
All right, so it's time now for us to just dilate on issues around fuel subsidies. Now, for some time now, the NPC has been calling for fuel subsidies to be taken off. Now, we hit the streets to get your views on that. It's time for What Do You Think?
With the various arguments being made for or against the removal of fuel subsidies, today we want to know from you if you think government should remove subsidies on fuel.
If they see managing it will help the people, the masses, in that way, or taking the rest of the subsidy, fine. If it will not help, then they have to think twice.
If we are in good position to maintain the subsidy, that is good, but as at now, almost every average Ghanaian is in hardship.
If they remove the subsidy and it will help the ordinary Ghanaian, I think it's okay. But if they maintain it and the less privileged in society will still benefit, that's fine. Whatever they will do and it will benefit the citizenry, I think I'm not against it.
I think government should maintain it. Right now there's no money in the system, so if they reduce it, I think some of us won't be able to cope with it.
Well, so if I said MPC, I beg your pardon, do forgive me, is MPA, National Petroleum Authority. But this is the same question I'm going to put to my guest who is now in the studios. We're talking to Collins Appiah. He's with NDK, he's the head of assets management. Thanks for joining us in the studios. Well, I'm so much into the fuel subsidies, it almost swayed me off a little bit. But let me find out from you now. For some time now, government is calling that immediately fuel subsidies, we should all deliberate on it as a people. What are the pros and cons, taking it and maintaining the subsidies?
I think when you look at subsidy, I mean, in terms of even economics, there is an advantage why a government will want to subsidize some of his product today. And apparently, if you are looking at social democrat policy, I mean, it's one of the key things that they will be doing. Now, you also want to take into consideration other macroeconomic variables as to what will be the effect of it on your inflation, what will be the effect of it on your debt and other issues, and you ask yourself, should you go ahead and still do it? And if you are in a country where within a trickle of an eye, the economy is so fragile to the external shocks, and you just take a decision where if you don't take care, external shock will come and worsen things, then for me, I think it's better you look at it in a more organized manner. I don't see the need of, if you say why do we maintain it or we shouldn't maintain it. I think it's about you assessing the economy, where the economy is now, and going forward, is it better? And that's why for me, I really supported the central bank view that if you say we are going to keep it, now we know inflation is a single digit, but going forward, we want to maintain what we call price stability. When we maintain it, are you going to have that kind of stability? And if the government is not able to subsidize it through the revenue that we are having, what is going to happen? And they think that
you feel it's a threat to inflation.
Yeah, very, very, very a threat to inflation, because at the end of the day, the question is if the government is subsidizing the fuel and it takes it off, it's definitely going to increase oil prices. And oil prices are part of the inflation component, the basket that we look at in calculating inflation. So it's going to
and it will have its trickling effect on every
with central bank, what they normally do is they have what we call reaction function. sometimes when you are taking a decision on a policy rate, you don't just look at the current situation, but you look at what's going to happen in the future if one variable takes or changes. So you react, you take a reaction function that will sort of mitigate the effect that this one is going to have, and that's what I think they've done. And
all right. Well, today's main topic is not on that one. You're here to help me discuss issues around our stock market. Of course, it's a Friday. The week has been good. Yesterday had its positivity on the market. Can you just run us through some of the activities of 17 equities? We had some trading at very positive gains.
I think one key issue why people probably investors should be looking at the stock market now is the sort of advantage that the stock market have gotten this year particularly. Right. I mean, looking at the pension perspective, now we have a lot of pension funds that are going to take decisions to buy stocks. Right. So if you are an investor, so far this money are coming to the market, it's better for you to quickly get into the market. This week, for instance, I'm very happy we have about almost 11 stocks. As at yesterday, when I was leaving the office, we have farm milk recording almost about 23% within a week. You ask yourself, Ghana even Treasury, net one days, how much is net one Treasury is giving you? Though we know that one is safe, but then if you don't have what it takes to do this kind of analysis, you shouldn't jump into the market. That's why you have some companies like NDK Asset Management or Data Bank on those financial advisors to advise you exactly which investment you should look at.
Let me break it down for my viewers a little bit. Now, for Fund Milk, which we said, I mean, if you have equities in Fund Milk, it only goes to tell you that within a period of a week, okay, if you have 100 shares in Fund Milk, probably you're gaining as much as 20 and over 20% of just that one, and it's within a period of a week. Now, usually when you go to the money market instruments, you're talking about a period of 91 days, if not 182 days, or a whole year gain. So within that short period, I think it's very significant, isn't it? Yeah. You can go on with your submission.
So this week we've had such a splendid performance on the market. Even volume traded increased by 806%. And you ask yourself why such development on the market, and I tell you, now the pension fund funds are coming to the market, and so it's very obvious to have such performance.
But my question is this sustainable? Looking into the future, is the economic climate so fertile to guide this level of increase, this level of trade on the market?
I think when you take stock market, I mean, it's a market that we say it has some risks. Yes. I mean, it's a volatile market. So the question of whether is it sustainable? Yeah. For me, I would say yes. For this year, I would say yes, because all of us, most of the analysts, if you ask them, we are expecting central. That's why some of us not really disappointed, but for central bank not to reduce the interest, the prime rate, because we are expecting the prime rate to go down because inflation has been that low, and we expect this bank exactly for this bank also to reduce their rate. Then when such a thing happens, you look at its relationship with the stock market, and everybody or the economic theory will tell you that anytime interest rates are coming down, people move their portfolio from that angle to the stock market. So people who are that smart will now want to take a decision exactly on the stock market, and that's why you see the stock market this year. I think we've made almost about my figures tells me we've made almost about 15% as at the end of yesterday. So that tells you that we've started on a positive note. This is likely to continue till the time maybe in the rate that we expect, the decline that we expect in the interest rate did not probably happen.
Okay. For those of you who are watching us who might not even have an idea on the stock market, yes, you could talk to an analyst, but it's the market where you could gain even double the price. But anytime you could gain so much, there could also be the risk factor. Just like you said, you could also lose marginally the money you put in there. Well, if you just you risk averse and you just not want to lose any part of your money, then of course you could be looking at the money market instruments. But let's just quickly touch on this final one, the Ghana cedi's performance.
I think the cedi this year for me has done very well. I mean, and obviously if you look at what happened before the election or even last year as a whole, this year we've only recorded a depreciation of 0.72. as compared to 6.26 recorded the same period today. When I was coming, we just calculated our Ghana Cedi index, and the index has recorded a 0.72%. And we compare it to the previous year, the same period, almost about 2 months down the line, and the year the rate was about 6.2. So obviously it tells you that this year we are really on the good note. This week, for instance, we had a massive gain. It appreciated against all the major trading currencies. I know today there has been some slight depreciation, but then if you take the week into perspective, I mean, we've recorded. The cedi, for instance, have appreciated against the dollar by 0.18%. We've recorded an appreciation of 1.46 to the pound, 0.31 and 0.31 again to the CFA. So, you know, I think the cedi have done probably very well this week, and going forward, I believe this will continue to happen because government or central bank is poised to issue more bonds onto the market, and if you look at
that's going to bring a lot of cash.
Exactly, you know, about 90%.
He is a financial analyst, and his name is Colin Sapia. Colin, sorry for cutting in. Well, there's supposed to be the world's finest sports presenter also coming through with some sports updates very shortly. But my name is Kweku Timin. I've been speaking to Colin Sapia. Colin Sapia is from NDK. He is the head of asset management. Many thanks for coming into the studios. Next week we'll get to you again to analyze and give us more details on the financial market. Viewers, do stay with us later at 4:30. We'll be talking about the commodity market and also getting you more details on how the Ghana Cedi has performed against other major trading currencies. A very good afternoon to you.